Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third part of this self-awareness series. In the first two videos, we've journeyed through the realm of forgotten sensations and explored the labyrinth of our habitual translations. Now we arrive at perhaps the most unsettling revelation of all, the surprising lack of logic in our supposedly rational minds. So by now you might be thinking, okay, so we're not great at feeling our bodies or understanding our emotions, but surely our thoughts, our rational minds, are where we truly excel. Hold on to that belief because we're about to challenge it too. The human mind, for all its incredible capabilities, is far from the logical, consistent entity we imagine it to be. We like to think of ourselves as rational beings, carefully weighing our options and making informed decisions. But the reality is quite different, as we're about to see. Our minds are shaped by a complex web of past experiences, cultural conditioning, and evolutionary adaptations. We carry within us the echoes of our parents' voices, the imprints of childhood traumas, and the accumulated wisdom and biases of our ancestors. These influences form the foundation of our thought patterns, often without our conscious awareness. Think about a habit you've been trying to break or a goal you've struggled to achieve. How many times have you found yourself repeating the same ineffective behaviors, even when you know or should know by observation that they don't serve you? This isn't a failure of willpower. It's a testament to the power of ingrained mental patterns. The crux of our dilemma lies in the flawed foundation we use to construct our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. We're essentially trying to build a skyscraper of logical solutions on a foundation of sand, and we're largely unaware that we're doing so. Let's break this down. Our starting point is a collection of raw, often unidentified bodily sensations. These are the subtle signals our body constantly sends us: a tightness in the chest, a flutter in the stomach, a tension in the jaw. But because we've grown so disconnected from our physical selves, these sensations remain mysterious, alien experiences that we struggle to interpret accurately, or, more often than not, distract ourselves from feeling altogether. Onto this shaky ground of unknown sensations, we immediately overlay a set of habitual mental constructs. They're like old computer programs running in the background of our minds, automatically assigning meaning to our experiences. But here's the kicker. We don't see that we're doing this. We're caught in a loop of repetition, applying the same flawed process over and over again, utterly blind to its inherent illogic. We encounter a problem, feel an uncomfortable sensation, slap on a habitual interpretation, react based on that interpretation, and then wonder why we end up back where we started. For instance, we might feel a knot in our stomach before a social event. Without recognizing this as simple nervous excitement, we automatically label it as anxiety, then decide we're not good at socializing. This leads us to avoid the event, reinforcing our belief and preventing us from gathering evidence that might challenge our interpretation. We repeat this cycle countless times in myriad situations, never questioning the validity of our initial sensations or the accuracy of our habitual thoughts. It's like watching the same movie over and over again, but somehow expecting a different ending each time. Yet, despite the clear lack of logic in this approach, we continue to expect rational outcomes. We believe that if we just think hard enough, if we just analyze our problems thoroughly enough, we'll arrive at sensible solutions. But we're trying to produce clarity from confusion, logic from illogic. This is the grand illusion of our supposed rationality. We pride ourselves on being logical creatures, on our ability to reason and problem solve. But in reality, much of our thinking is built on this shaky foundation of misinterpreted sensations and outdated mental habits. And if all that wasn't enough, in order to keep ourselves in this loop, we employ various psychological defense mechanisms to protect ourselves from feeling uncomfortable sensations and from seeing our distorted mental premises. Psychological distortions are patterns of thinking or perceiving that can lead to inaccurate or unhelpful interpretations of reality. These distortions are often associated with various degrees of mental health disorders and can significantly impact an individual's thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. They can interfere with rational decision-making, healthy relationships, and overall happiness. Here are some of them. 1. Projection. We attribute our own unacknowledged traits or feelings to others. 2. Rationalization. we create seemingly logical explanations for our irrational behaviors or choices. 3. Memory distortion. Our recollections are influenced by repression and selective recall, often painting ourselves in a more favorable light. 4. Cognitive distortions. We catastrophize negative experiences and minimize positive ones, skewing our perception of reality. 5. Other mechanisms like displacement, reaction formation, and intellectualization further complicate our psychological landscape. 6. Gaslighting. Manipulating someone to doubt their own reality. Splitting, seeing things in extreme all or nothing terms. 8. Emotional reasoning, treating emotions as objective facts. 9. Personalization, taking things personally or blaming oneself inappropriately. 10. Catastrophizing, assuming the worst possible outcome in any situation. 11. Mind reading, believing you know what others are thinking without evidence. Overgeneralization, drawing broad conclusions from a single event. 13. Filtering, focusing solely on negative aspects while ignoring positives. 14. Should statements, holding rigid rules about how things should be. 15. Magical thinking, believing that one's thoughts or actions can influence unrelated events. 16. Disqualifying the positive, dismissing positive experiences as flukes or exceptions. 17. Jumping to conclusions, making negative interpretations without supporting facts. 18. Labeling, assigning global negative traits to oneself or others based on single events. 19. Fallacy of fairness, believing that life should always be fair, especially to us. 20. Blaming, holding others responsible for your emotional pain or absolving yourself of responsibility. These distortions can work alone or in combination, creating complex patterns of thought that can be challenging to unravel. Recognizing these patterns is the first step towards developing a more balanced and realistic perspective. However, addressing these distortions often requires conscious effort and, in many cases, professional help. Cognitive behavioral therapy and other therapeutic approaches can be particularly effective in helping individuals identify, challenge, and ultimately change these distorted thought patterns. To break this cycle, we must 1. Pause and return to the raw data of our bodily sensations. 2. Approach our internal experiences with fresh, unbiased eyes. 3. Question our habitual interpretations. 4. Resist the urge to immediately solve our discomfort. 5. Develop the capacity to sit with uncertainty. 6. Explore our sensations without judgment. By doing so, we can gradually build a more accurate understanding of ourselves, assembling the puzzle of our psyche with the right pieces and guided by a clearer, more authentic self-image. It's important to remember that everyone experiences some of these distortions to varying degrees. The goal isn't to eliminate them entirely, but to recognize when they're occurring and develop strategies to mitigate their impact on our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. As we conclude this journey through the landscape of our minds, we stand at a crossroads. We've peeled back the layers of our sensations, unraveled our habitual translations, and confronted the surprising lack of logic in our thought processes. But this end is really just a beginning. The path forward isn't about achieving perfect rationality or completely eliminating our psychological quirks. Instead, it's about cultivating awareness, a gentle, curious attention to the workings of our own minds. It's about learning to pause in the space between sensation and reaction, between thought and action. In this pause lies our greatest power, the ability to choose how we interpret our experiences, how we respond to our emotions, and how we engage with the world around us. This choice isn't always easy, and we'll often fall back into old patterns. But with each moment of awareness, each conscious decision, we're gradually rewriting the story of who we are and how we relate to our reality. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, but progress. It's about building a more authentic, nuanced understanding of ourselves and others. It's about embracing the beautiful complexity of the human experience, with all its contradictions and surprises. So as you move forward from here, carry with you this spirit of curiosity and compassion. Question your assumptions, challenge your habitual thoughts, and listen, really listen to the wisdom of your body. In doing so, you open yourself to a richer, more vibrant experience of life. This is the true adventure of self-discovery, a journey that never truly ends, but evolves with each step we take. And in this journey lies the potential for profound growth, deeper connections, and a more meaningful engagement with the world around us. Thank you for joining me on this exploration. May your path forward be filled with insight, courage, and the joy of continual discovery.